CC was the chairperson of the British jury for Eurovision Song Contest 2016. And the following year, CC Sammy acted as the judge for Eurovision You Decide 2017. In the year 2018, CC Sammy launched a new music therapy initiative called The Power of Music, which empowers and inspires young people going through hard times. The Power of Music uses music therapy techniques and powerful messaging within their music to educate young people. We're so glad to have you on board, CC. On to you.
Thank you. First of all, a huge thank you. And you are amazing in how you're managing computers, because I'm terrible, can I just say? My 9-year-old daughter understands much more about the digital side of things, but that's another conversation. But first of all, I really want to say thank you. For me, it's a huge privilege to be here to talk with all of you, to be honest. I shan't give my age, but I've been in the industry, in the entertainment industry, for a very long time, for over 25 years. But you know, what I love about where Music Relief has reached is what this campaign is now called change. Change is something that I want all of you to know. Change is something that we all go through. We've all been through hardship of some sort, different, but we've all gone through difficulties. But we also all have dreams. So I want to talk to you a little bit about my background from when I was quite young, and the growth of how change helped me in my everyday living, and how I think that could and should help some of you. As a child, I actually grew up in Trinidad in the Caribbean, and I loved all types of music. Now, I always thought I was slightly different and I'm sure all of us feels that at some point when we're quite young, because we're sort of finding ourselves, what we like, what we don't like, you know, the things that we have in common with people, the things that we don't have in common. And, you know, I would look at lots of different singers, lots of different musicians, and I loved playing the piano. But my mother, and I really do call her and think of her in this way as my hero in many ways, as well as teachers that I had around me, they always said, it's great to have a dream. It's great that you love music, but you've got to practice. Now, there's some of you out there who will love music and you want to do something in that field. Or there's some of you who you want to do something in the sports field. Or perhaps you want to do something with computers, the digital side of things. And I want to really encourage all of you that it all starts from having that tiny little dream and then putting targets to help yourself to move forward. And that's what today is about. It's the agenda is about going through different points as to how you can proceed, and that it doesn't only remain as a dream, but as something that can actually come true. But that's a very difficult place to be. So as a child, my mother and my teachers and friends around me, we all spoke about how could I make this really happen? I was born in Trinidad. I didn't know anyone in the music field in England, in the UK, or in America. Now, bear in mind what I've just said and what this lovely girl just mentioned about me. My business is set both in the UK and in Los Angeles. But as a child, I didn't know anyone. I just had this tiny little dream of wanting to do something in music. It started with me practicing, setting a target. Every day at a certain time, I would get on the piano. And it was quite boring at times, really boring, very frustrating. What was the end result going to be? But I did it. I would practice. Then I would go off to school, come back home, and I did it on and on, constantly. Then my mother decided to help me, and she said, okay, let's send some of your recordings to see if you can get into a music school in the UK. I had no idea what would happen, but I did. And fortunately, I got into this school that was remarkable. It helped me in so many ways. Now I want you to think of yourself right now. This step of what you're doing, being a part of Music Relief, being a part of this change campaign, however you feel, you have already taken that step that I took years ago. And I want you to really think of yourself right now. You've got incredible people. You have access to incredible people that you can have direct conversations with. I was 14 years old when I came to London. I had that moment where when I came, I had that direct access. And I want all of you to think of yourself right now. You have that access as a patron of Music Relief. And all of the other people that you'll be speaking to, we are here to answer your questions. We're not here at a distance. We're here to answer your questions. We can't make things happen for you, but we certainly can help in guiding. So that one step, like I said, was practicing. It's boring. I had a set time that I had to show up for a certain class. Very boring at times. I keep repeating it, but I'm so glad that I did. For 3 years, I was 14 at the time. I then ended up being 17 years old, and I happened to be in a place where I was playing the piano and I was singing. And some people heard me and they approached me and they said, "We love what you've just done. We'd like you to come and audition for something." Now I bring it back to you again. Here you are at Change Campaign. You've got the access to speak to people the same way I did. I bring it back. So I was 17. I did what they asked. I went to audition. Doors opened up. I ended up having a phenomenal job. I don't know how many of you will know of the singer Diana Ross, an amazing singer. I got the opportunity to sing as a backing vocalist for this incredible lady. Now, at the same time as doing the backing vocalists art that I did for various artists, I continued to study many different things. I studied about the voice, the technique of it, how does it work, how does it not work? And one thing led to another, and I started working on television. I started working on various projects with singers, actors, actresses, presenters, and my business grew into very, different places. So I bring it back to all of you today. It starts with training, with disciplining yourself. If you have to be somewhere at a certain time, let's have a diary that we go, okay, this is frustrating, but I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to give myself targets. Let's try to get somewhere 10 times in a row. Let's have friends or parents or teachers, just people that we know that we can speak to that would help us in keeping that, because we will fall at times. That happens to everyone. I had great moments where I'd be like, I can't get up right now. I can't do this. I don't want to do it. But I had that constant nag through certain people in my life. And I really want to encourage all of you. Change starts from within. Instead of finding a handicap or blaming other people, we really do have the opportunity to make choices for ourselves. We can't manage everything, but we can start with a change. Now, I don't want to go on too much because I want, if you guys have any questions you'd like to ask, I would love to answer your questions. And I'll finish with this. The biggest thing I'd like to ask you to do is to set a target for yourselves. Feel free to open up to people about your weaknesses as well as your strengths and how you can bring that change in your life. Does that make sense?
Excellent. Makes perfect sense, Cece. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. So any questions from anyone? No questions?
Oliver, I can see that you're itching to ask a question.
Yeah, I wish I could, but sometimes it's very disappointing that the things that we would want to ask, we just can't think of it in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'm the musician, but he is. I think he's kind of. He's overpassed me. He's past me right now with the love of music. So, but I think he's overwhelmed after hearing everything.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? What I can do is something that we can all do, and I still do this to this day because it's so important. And this is for singers, actors, but it's also for people who because like I said, we all love music. So it's not about everyone wanting to have an industry within that field, but we can use it as a guide to help us be calm, to think clearly, to help guide us. And one of those important things, actually, and I call it a way of lifestyle tips that we can have. And I call it the power of breathing. So why don't we do that right now? We can all do it. So I want you to breathe through your nose. I'm going to count to 4. And then I'm going to say to blow out through your mouth like this. We're going to breathe in through the nose and out. Now we're going to do that again. And I want you to shake your hands. This is an exercise that I do with many people. Just shake your hands. Relax the shoulders. And now we're going to do it again. Breathing in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. Now, something as simple as that, when you're on your own, whether you're at home washing the dishes, lying down in bed, or you've had a text from someone and it really annoys you. You're like, how could you text me this? That's so annoying. We all face these situations, okay? But again, we have the ability of change in our lives, our mindset. Everything is about our mindset. Or it could be that, as you said, Oliver, you didn't think of something, but I'm going to use an example of, I've had moments in my life where I'll be like, why did I not get that job? I think I was pretty good to get that job. Why? But again, that could take you into such a dark place. And sometimes having that failure, I'm a firm believer in it. Sometimes having that failure or that constant having to go can help you to change and to adapt. Because sometimes, like I said, I loved playing the piano. If I could have had a job where I financially made great money from being that pianist, great. Now, I still do play the piano, but where I made my big money was from the side of the singing world, teaching them. Now, I would never have thought that I would have enjoyed and loved the way that I do of being a vocal coach. But I'm really glad that I studied it, that I knew about the technique of the voice, because that is what gave me the change in when that television, one of the first television programs that were music competition programs called Pop Idol that came out. With pride, I stood up and I started teaching them, telling them what to do. And the cameras were there. They were fascinated. The exec producer, actually, of that show is a dear friend of mine now, a lady called Claire, and she talks about it to this day. She loved, and the rest of the team loved what they saw me doing. What was I doing? I was a teacher. But they saw the passion that I had, and they decided, let's put her on camera. Did I expect that? No, I didn't. But you see, I was ready. I understood the technique, but I also understood patience. And I used that word of this campaign, change. You see, change did happen. Cameras came, I got my moment of, okay, yes, please catch me at that angle, catch me at that angle. But you see, it covered absolutely everything. And this is why I really want to encourage you. Sometimes your dream is the start of something that is much bigger than yourself. It's not about fame. It's about education. It's about an everyday, ongoing, boring practice, having the ability to open your mind to many things that you are capable of doing. I bring it back. I was from Trinidad. I didn't know anyone in the business, but I made my way step by step, and I didn't limit myself. So Oliver, for you and for everyone, I really want to encourage you. Yes, you will face difficulties, but guess what? We all encounter that. There are things that we can't get the answers for. But what we can do is to make that change by being constant and adapting. Adapting is important. Education is the key, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, honestly. And I honestly believe that a lot of you are so talented, so talented. You are the next generation. I'm 43 and I am learning so much from people that I meet in their 20s. I'm like, really? Wow. And I really want to encourage you. Don't just have that dream, but put steps. And guess what? I still have dreams as well. I have plans for when I'm 60, 70, you know? It's the mindset. So I'll stop because I talk too much and my hands start shaking all over the place. So, any questions from anyone else? Okay, so let's do that one more time. The breathing in and the breathing out. And if it's one thing, sorry about that. Oops. Sorry. If it's one thing you remember from me, is it's about the power of breathing. Say it after me. The power of breathing.
The power of breathing.
Good. So we're going to take a breath in and a breath out. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, breathe out all the way. Those are moments that in our own lives that we can take control of for that change. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cece, for coming on board today. We're really happy to have you here. Thank you so much.
No, pleasure.
Yeah. So before we move on to Mohan's presentation, I'd like to inform everyone that all the people who've registered through Eventbrite have been directly entered into a raffle. So we're giving away 2 prizes today. So one of them is a £50 voucher for a premium bottle of wine, and the other is a £60 voucher for a 2-course meal for 2. So we will be announcing the winners at the end of the session. So right now, I'd like to invite Mohan, our business partnership manager, to present his topic.
Thank you, Maitri, taking the burden of sharing screen. I've been struggling with it since the meeting. Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you for joining us. My name is Mohan. I'm the business partnership manager at Musically Foundation. So I'm working on the change campaign from the month of November, as Magdalene told. So before talking about the actual campaign, I want to talk about why exactly we are starting this campaign right now and what is the need for it. As Magdalene spoke about how COVID-19 has impacted our lives, we all know how much uncertainties we have been facing from then. This campaign is designed to address major issues that a young person faces, and now and facing now, especially after a series of lockdowns that we've been facing from past 1 year. We all have to agree that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. If a young person is if you take any young person who is like continuously involving themselves in any anti-social activities, the reason will be their financial instability due to unemployment. The reason for this again is, the reason for that unemployment is their skill gap and lack of confidence and motivation to chase their dream. These four are the main issues that a young person is facing right now. So this program is designed in a way that it tries to address all these issues. So can I have the next slide, please, Maitri? Yeah, if you look into the statistics, the UK has seen the highest number of job redundancies since the Great Recession in 2008. And the sad part is more than 30% of them are the young people who who are just in their early careers or who just started a part-time job. If you see in the 2020, in a single year, almost 400,000 people lost their job to COVID, and 100,000 among them are young people, which is the really sad part that the COVID has done to us, and like less number of people are like just addressing it and speaking about it. Can you have the next slide, please, Matri? So the solution that we are proposing through this campaign is a blended hybrid model, which is a multi-dimensional in nature. Training with career-oriented courses, which are in demand in the market, and career guidance by the experts are the key to this. We believe it is a key to these problems. So next slide, please. So while designing this program and while building this program, we have made several adaptations from the solutions for youth employment organization and the roadmap they suggested to the government for eradicating unemployment especially in young people. Next slide, please, Maitri. So yeah, so coming to the program itself, once a young person signs up for this program, they will undergo 2 layers of training. Upon the successful completion of this training, the young person will be placed in one of the partnering companies for their employment. The reason for this training, that this training is to empower the young person and to tune them before they start facing the real world out there. So the first layer of this training, which is mandatory well-being training and common to all the participants. This well-being training is provided by Music Relief Foundation itself, and the second one is technical training in career-oriented courses, as I said earlier, which will be given by experts in the field who are also partners to this campaign. Can I have the next slide, please, Mantri? So this is the training process of the program. So the young person will be referred by Job Center Plus, or any young person can sign up for this program. So once they sign up for this program, we'll have an initial assessment or an interaction with them to see what kind of training suits them, so that not everybody are same here. So we are also ready to offer tailored well-being training to any young people with special needs and disabilities. So once we had the initial assessment done with them, they will undergo the well-being training for 9 weeks, and after that they will be trained in interview techniques, CV writing, and soft skills. So after this, it is an option to them whether they can choose any career related courses that Music Relief is currently having, or they might ask us to just help them in get placed in any of the companies that are partnering in this campaign. So it is really up to them, but we generally encourage our participants to have some sort of training in the courses that we already have. Next slide. So the level 1 training, the well-being training, I was talking about. So it has a curriculum of well-being, purpose evaluation, goal setting. Uh, these are the topics that we need to cover to make sure an young person is mentally and emotionally ready for the real world. So especially after COVID, uh, just let me tell you something. So just imagine we all have an important meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning, and which is really important to us, and we are really excited and looking forward for it. And unfortunately, let's say we overslept or we just missed it, or like if we missed 1.5 hour of it, like how frustrated we feel about it. Like we lost an hour and a half of our time of our life. So how frustrated feel about it. It is exactly the same way. An young person now, how he feel is, they lost an year in their life. That's what they usually think. So from last March, they have, most of them, they have been locked in house, and I mean they've been isolated. They've been facing a lot of issues. So they feel like they almost lost an year of their life. So it's a frustration they have in themselves. So that's why we think this well-being training is important to them. So again, as I said earlier, the second level is the skill enhancement and career-oriented training based on the choice of our participants. Next slide, please. So we have done a youth survey and several roundtable conference with the young people in our community before taking any important decisions regarding this campaign. So we want to hear from them what exactly are going through in mind and how exactly their mindset is. So we have conducted a youth survey where we have asked the young people what they want to learn and what they do want to do in their career. So these courses we've currently having is taken from their choices that they want to learn. Next slide, please. So the career courses that we are offering currently are coding and programming, problem solving and critical thinking, creative works, which is again media and music includes, and money management. One of the surprising thing we've heard from our young people are a lot of people were interested in money management, and they want to learn about investment. I think yeah, so a lot of people also, they want to start businesses. So we have entrepreneurship classes. Next slide, please. So what happens after one young person complete this training? So once a young person completes this training, our partners with we are partnered with local companies and corporate businesses who are committed in aiding the community, and who really believe in giving back to the community by helping in any sort of way. So we partnered with these companies, so they will be taking these young people for different type of work, like it may be an apprenticeship or an internship or a work experience, or even a part-time job. So these young people will be having an employment with these partnering companies. And we also have to keep in mind that not at considering the current situation, not all the companies are ready to offer employment to the young person, like and train them, and they may also have financial issues. So we also encourage our partnering companies to take these young people on through Kickstart scheme, which is a new government scheme introduced. So I think our next speaker Mavis will talk about Kickstart scheme. Next slide, please. So what happened next? While the young person that the MRF sends to these companies or at placement, we will be in constant touch with both the companies and the young person to kind of provide continuous support to them, and to ensure that everything runs smoothly between them. And we also have a something for the partnering companies as token of gratitude and in exchange of what they are doing for us. So we as Magdalene said, we've been in this industry for more than 10 years now. We've been working with young people in all the level. So we know how as an organization, we know how young people thinks and how they actually function. So as youth experts, we are offering these companies that are partnering with us youth culture training to the employees and management of the company, so that we are training them how they can efficiently bring the best out of the young people, and how efficiently they can work along with the young people. And we are also providing well-being training and team building sessions to these companies and businesses that are taking these young people for employment. Next slide, please. So we have a target by the end of this year, by end of 2021, we want to place at least a minimum of 15 young people in an employment. So our target goes on. So for next year, we have 35 plus, and for 2023, we are planning to place a minimum of 70 people in their employment. Next slide, please. So again, to summarize the whole campaign, the purpose of this campaign is to empower and support young people affected by COVID-19 by providing something tangible to them that they can put it in the CV, or whether it can help them in their career. So how we are going to do it? We aim to achieve this by collaborating with local businesses and corporates, and our target audiences are young people who are 16 to 25 years old, who are in school, or who are not in education and any sort of training, and mainly people from disadvantaged background, first-time offenders, and we are also happy to take people who are identified as vulnerables and who are at risk of child exploitation and child abuse. So our potential partners for this campaign would be educational institutions, training providers, independent tutors, career coaches, and job coaches as well. And mostly our marketing and will be for this campaign through social media. And we have good relationship with schools and colleges around Croydon and Totten Heath. And as a grassroots charity, word of mouth is our biggest strength. And and job center referrals also are an important channel, I can say. So our revenue streams coming to the cost of the to cover the cost of the campaign, we accept sponsorship and funding, and also we also accept direct payments from individuals as sponsorships. Next slide, please. So yeah, we have our three wonderful partners here. I think we have Jennifer from DNI Talent Solutions, and Alison from Internship Garage here, and Mavis from Rich Visions. So these are our partners. Next slide, please, Manji. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I think I pretty much covered it all. Any questions? Anybody? Oh, I think Juan have a question. Hi, Juan.
Hi. So I have a question in terms of the courses. You see, once I step out of them, will they be accredited or certified?
Sorry, come again.
So what I said is, you see, for the courses, once I step out of them, will there be accredited or certified?
Oh yeah, a good question. Yeah, so the coding courses I've talked about have a level A qualification, and all other courses that I mentioned have a certification for them. So once you walk out, you'll have a certificate in your hand that you can put it in your CV, or it may help in your employment.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Okay, yeah. So
I think Pete have a question.
Yeah.
Hello.
I think he's on mute. Just a second.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're able to.
Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, as someone who works with young people and looking to get them into education, training, and employment, I really like this the steps all the way through that you're taking, the approach with the potentiality that they might well find themselves in employment if they, you know, really interact well. So no, very, very impressed. Thanks for what you're doing. It's really good.
Welcome. Thank you.
Oliver has his hand raised.
Yeah, I don't. If I heard a time, duration for the course, I think it's skipped me. You know what I mean? Is there a duration, for the entire course?
Different courses have different durations. Like it depends on depends on the participant they are participating. There's no time limit for them to complete a course. So if they feel that they're unable to complete a course they're unable to complete a course in music by 4 weeks, they can do it for 5-6 weeks until they feel they're comfortable, and we feel they're eligible for the certificate. So there's no particular time frame for it currently. It's again depends on the individual. See, everybody have a different level of learning capacity. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so we have 2 more hands up.
Hi, Kofi, how are you? I think you're on mute.
Yeah.
Hi, Kofi, I think you're on mute.
Okay, whilst we wait for Kofi to unmute himself,
Yeah.
Is that a legacy hand, or have you got another question?
Yeah.
Pete?
No, I've asked mine, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kofi, over to you.
I think he's experiencing some connection issues.
Yeah, we've been experiencing all connection issues from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just go back to Oliver's question? So the duration for each course is also based on the partner and the length of time that they would be providing the time to deliver the services. For the wellbeing training that Music Relief will be offering, it's 4 weeks. So that's 4 weeks, 1 day a week, 90 minutes for 4 weeks. And we don't have a set day because it's based on the cohorts of people who are coming. So if we have, young people who are coming from school, we have to also be flexible with the time because we understand that during the course of the day, they will be at school. So we may have to look at evening sessions, still weekday, but sometime in the evening. And then if it's of a group of young people who probably are coming from, youth engaging team also, we also need to look at issues of safeguarding, and would it be ideal to bring all this group of people with different offences together at one time, or would it be best to have them, would we have to deliver it on a one-to-one basis? So those are the kind of things that we're looking at. So just to understand that the program will be flexible based on the cohorts that we're working with. So it's always going to be Monday to Friday. It's always going to be a duration of 90 minutes for 1 day a week, but it may mean that I would have to do it one-to-one if it's if there are some safeguarding issues that we need to consider, or if it's in the evening. Does that answer your question?
Oh yeah, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kofi said, my question is about the target numbers of people to be trained. Is this London-wide or Croydon only? Thank you so much, Kofi. That's a fantastic question. So that is a London-wide thing. That's why when Mohan started his presentation, he said it's a hybrid approach. in as much as we are based at the Leisure Centre in the north of the borough in Thornton Heath, we understand that you may have some young people who want to take part in this program, and they're coming, I don't know, from North London, East London, even may not even be coming from London. So we have to develop that approach. So yes, it's London-wide. It's not a Croydon-centric thing. So it's open to any young person, any part of the world, well, obviously based on time differences as well. So we are offering an offline and an online approach. Thank you so much for that question, Kofi. Is there any other question? Okay, so Maitri, we're still waiting for Jack to come on. We've not heard from him yet, so I know he'll be coming on soon. So let us, since we've got a few minutes, let's quickly play the video we were going to play before Mohan came on. And then if Jack's not there, I know Mavis is here now, then Mavis will take over.
Yeah, sure. Give me just a minute. So the video we're going to play right now is the video that our youth ambassadors did for our knife crime campaign. It's actually a music video, so yeah, here it is.
Don't know how you make me feel. I wanna end it today, cause the pain is just too real. If you were in my shoes, and that's when you could judge. It's hard to be okay when you know that you're not loved.
Knife can take a life, cry for protection. Got a lethal weapon, had no love and affection. Got some viewers, money on rumbers. Now I got enemies, I don't even know. When I step outside, I don't feel safe. Should I carry a knife or not? Don't wanna catch a case. Don't want tears coming down my mum's face. Got my head down and got a uni place. Yeah, done low.
You don't know how you make me feel. I wanna end it today, cause the pain is just too real. If you were in my shoes, and that's when you could judge. It's hard to be okay when you know that you're not loved. You don't know how you make me feel. I wanna end it today, cause the pain is just too real. If you were in my shoes, and that's when you could judge. It's hard to be okay when you know that you're not loved.
The sap keeps going on, getting detention for doing wrong. Coming home late, views taking long. Facts right here, listen to our song. Car, everybody wants to be top, killing each other, they want to take shots. But really, everyone's lost. Be yourself and don't be something you're not. Now let's see. Mum wouldn't want her son or her daughter to die at 15. Can we stop all this nonsense, please? Come on, let's all be G's. Together we can all succeed. Together we can all succeed. Together we can all succeed.
You don't know how you make me feel. I wanna end it today, cause the pain is just too real. If you were in my shoes, and that's when you could judge. It's hard to be okay when you know that you're not loved. You don't know how you make me feel. I wanna end it today, cause the pain is just too real. If you were in my shoes, and that's when you could judge. It's hard to be okay when you know that you're not loved. You don't know how you make me feel. I wanna end it today, cause the pain is just too real. If you were in my shoes, and that's when you could judge. It's hard to be okay when you know that you're not loved.
Okay.
I think we are waiting for Jack now. He's supposed to be here.
Go ahead and introduce Mavis. Then Jack will come in afterwards.
Yes, sure. So Mavis Mankwa is here. As Mohan said in his presentation. Okay, Jack Parsons is here. Okay, we're sorry about that. So just a second. So I'm happy to introduce you all to Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons is an award-winning young entrepreneur. He's a public speaker and subject expert on youth, and he's also known as UK's Chief Youth Officer. So Jack has been honored awards over the last 3 years, including Young Digital Leader of the Year, the 100 Faces of a Vibrant Economy, Most Connected Young Entrepreneur, 50 Top Kindest Leaders, and Top 10 UK Entrepreneurs to Watch. Jack is currently the CEO of the Youth Group, which is building the world's largest, most connected marketplace and community for young people with one aim: to help improve the odds for young people across the world to achieve their full potential in work. On top of running the youth group, Jack also advises a number of organizations and figureheads. We're really happy to have you here today with us, Jack. On to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? And thank you so much for a lovely introduction. I'm Jack Parsons, and I've got about 5 minutes, and I wanted to come and speak to you just to show you that actually anything is possible. So where did it all start for me? So if you can't already tell by the accent, I'm originally from Essex, and I grew up in Romford, and I grew up in a council estate. My mum was an alcoholic, and she was only ever in free moods, drunk, violent, or asleep. I went 3 nights a week without dinner, and school was a place where I tried to go and fit in, but I was bullied because young people are smart and they know the odd one out. And I tried to get away from being bullied at home and bullied in work, bullied in school. And I came across this fantastic community, and it was a judo community, and I could go in and learn judo. And I went to this judo community and I become a black belt in judo. And surprise, surprise, the bullying stopped. So my first bit of advice for anyone who is watching or anyone who's looking, how do I build a community? How do I build my network? How do I get into employment? How do I grow my skills? Is firstly, look around you and think to yourself, what community am I a part of? And does that community help me build confidence? Does it help me build opportunity? And does it help me build the skills I need? So I joined this community and I started to get in a bit of confidence. Now there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, and judo teaches you that. Mum got really ill and I had no choice but to move in with my dad. And my dad said to me, you have to apply for as many jobs as you can and get as many opportunities, because the more opportunities you apply for jobs, the more jobs responses will come back. And that's what I did. And I applied for as many jobs as I can. And I reached out to about 1,000 employers. And I literally only got 2 people come back. One said no, and one said, come and meet us. And I grabbed that opportunity with both hands and I went in to meet that employer. And they gave me a job. It was low wages. However, I knew that by being in that room, I would learn, I would grow, and that it would take me to my next journey, whatever that is. I didn't know what that would be, because you don't know. All you want to do is get into employment, earn some money, and then you decide what's next. And that apprenticeship I did gave me the confidence to understand how the world of work works. And from there, I went into another job, and I went into a recruitment job, and that was putting teachers into jobs. And in that job, I was making a lot of money for the organisation, but I was also making some money for myself. So I was making £1 million a year for that organisation. And with my commission, I decided that I would go and set up my own business. because I had the passion and the purpose to help people just like me from council estates. And I left that organisation after 3 years, and I set up my first business, and I didn't have a clue. I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I never claimed to be, but I have the passion and the energy to make a difference. And I sat at the kitchen table and I typed into Google how to set up a business. And it came up, limited company, sole trader. If you earn over £60,000, you have a register for VAT. And there was, every day I sat there and said, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I should go and work for someone. Maybe I should go and give back and go and work for a charity. But I kept going and going and going. And within 3 years, I built that organisation to 8 million. We raised multi-millions of pounds, and we helped over 100,000 council kids, just like I was, get into work. And that wasn't because I was smart. That wasn't because we had the best product. It's because I got up, I wrote a list every day, and I made sure I completed my list. But I also surrounded myself with a community. So taking the learnings from who is in your hashtag tribe, who is there to support you, build that community. And it went from meeting people that was 2 months ahead of me to now having 60% of the FTSE 100 CEOs in my phone book. And I didn't do that because I have a degree. I didn't do that because I was dining or playing polo with all these people that are from rich families. I did that because I gave it a bit of grit. I got up and I failed every day. And sometimes I felt overwhelmed and my confidence went down, but I continued going. Because if you have a passion, I call it the duvet flip. What gets you out of bed in the morning to flip that duvet? And your duvet flip on a weekday can be different to your duvet flip on a weekend, but have your duvet flip. And that has turned into me running a global organisation in three to four locations with 155 employees, helping 90,000 young people and having a community of 1.7 million young people. On the side of running the youth group, I'm an international special advisor to New Zealand government on youth. I'm an ambassador to the government on young people as well, and I public speak across the world. And I think to myself, wow, Jack, how have you achieved this all in 4 years? And it all goes back down to yourself, looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, I can do this. It doesn't matter what my background is or what I look like or what I sound like or whether I've got a degree or not. Because within me, you can do whatever you want to do. You can achieve whatever you want to do, whether that's music, whether that's dance, whether that's start a business, or whether that's work for an accountancy. Don't let anyone ever tell you can't do it. But also remember why you started. And I live in Westminster now, overlooking the River Thames, and I think to myself, Jack, you was that nervous young guy living in a council estate. And if I can do it, everyone on this call can. Anyone in the country can, because I'm no one special. But don't get balled up on having the penthouse and the being worth millions. Do something that gets you out of bed and really flips that duvet. Thank you so much. I'm Jack Parsons, the UK's Chief Youth Officer.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on board, Jack.
Does anyone have any questions? I don't know if we have time, but if anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. If I can, I might not, but I'll answer any questions.
Yeah, we do have time. So does anyone have any questions?
Jack, let me kickstart the whole thing. It's lovely to have you here, and first and foremost, let me just put it out there. I don't want to take the glory for this. It was Mohan that worked tirelessly to get Jack get Jack here. So let that kudos go to Mohan. But nonetheless, I really love your story and the passion that's behind your story and how you've come from where you came from to where you are right now. And when you were speaking, you dropped so many powerful nuggets that young people need to hear, because many of them, because of where they came from, because of their family background, because of that low self-esteem, they never believe that they can actually achieve anything. And so being that founder of a youth organization, not necessarily having the same background with yourself, but having the passion to empower young people. What my question to you is that, what is that one thing you say to that 14, 15-year-old who has been told all his or her life that you never amount to anything? That person that says that they've been told, or because of the color of your skin, because you are female, or because you are male, or because just because of something, whatever it may be, or maybe because of the friendship group, so that desire to belong to a particular group of people, like a family, quote unquote, a family. What is that one thing you would say to that person that even if he doesn't transform his life immediately, you've sown a seed that will bring about transformation in the long term?
Well, great question. And if anyone on this call ever has anyone tell them they can't achieve, send them my way. I'll boot kick them. And I don't like violence. So that's number one. But most importantly, your weakness is your superpower. Your weakness is your superpower. And you have to, because as soon as you know your weakness, it's no longer a weakness. So I'm dyslexic and I can't spell, but I read multi-million-pound contracts. I sign into deals. But I know that I'm not a good reader, and I find it very difficult to read really long words or I get overwhelmed, even to this day. Now I know that's my weakness. It's also my superpower, because when something comes in, I've put a number of assistants around me who can help me read it, can help me digest it, can break it down into a picture. So as soon as you know what your weakness is, or what they think your weakness is, because normally it's not, okay? Normally your weakness is a weakness to them, it's not to you. As soon as you find out what they think your weakness is, use it as your superpower and be proud. Whether you're a female, whether you're a black young guy, whether you're from a council estate, that is not a weakness, that is a strength, and that's your superpower. So turn your weakness, what they think is your weakness, into a superpower. And remember it.
Olga had her hand raised. So Olga, do you have any question for Jack?
I just wondered what the UK Chief Youth Officer is. What does it do?
Yeah, so the UK Chief Youth Officer is about going across the country and empowering young people to get up, find their duvet flips, to build hope, skills and opportunity. So it's across different governments, it's across different charities, it's across a number of incentives that come together. And instead of saying, over here I'm doing this, over here I'm doing this, we've bracketed it all together as a UK Chief Youth Officer to empower young people to really shine, because everyone, no matter who you are, you all have talent. Sometimes you just need a mentor or an opportunity to showcase that talent. So in that role, it's about saying, this is not about the ones that sit in government making the decisions. This is not about the ones in their high-rise towers. This is about the community, about really supporting you grassroots to say you can do whatever you want to do.
But do you represent the government? Hello? Oh, okay. I don't know.
And the problem is with the network.
Yeah. What can you do? You gotta love technology.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think
is his time up? Because he said he has 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's frozen. Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
think
fine.
it's glitching somewhere down there.
Okay, let's continue and move on.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm so sorry, it froze there. I'm so sorry. But thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on board, Jack. So
Thank you, Jack. Thank you so much. Delighted to have you.
So our next speaker for the day is Mavis Amankwa. So I'm going to share her bio with all of you guys. So Mavis Amankwa is a multi-award-winning entrepreneur. She's a public speaker and a business coach with over 20 years in communications and professional services industry. So she is one of the UK's foremost diversity ambassadors. And Mavis has dedicated her career to making a positive impact in diversity in the business world by bridging the gap between communities. And she also helps in transforming social disparities into profitable and sustainable business models. So she's a highly acclaimed business guru, and she has survived 2 recessions against all odds and has sustained and successfully executed campaigns across a lot of industries and sectors. And she's also worked with the business and financial sector. We're so happy to have you here today, Mavis. On to you. Is she here?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Sorry, there's a bit of a delay on the Teams.
Yes,
we can hear you.
And we can hear you. You've muted yourself, Mavis.
Yeah, I'm just setting up because there's a delay in 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, the reception was kept syncing. Sorry about that. Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name's Mavis Amankwa. Really good to see you all. I've been listening in the background and hearing some of the interesting conversations. So today I'm just going to quickly talk to you about the Kickstart program if anyone's interested, and then also you can have the opportunity to ask me questions as well. So as I was introduced very nicely, I don't think I need to repeat what was said, but what I will say that for me over the last kind of 20 years of running business, a lot of the things that I've been doing has been through perseverance, determination, and never giving up. And I know sometimes for young people it can be a bit frustrating because you guys want things done quickly. And sometimes it doesn't always go that way. And I'm talking about career, I'm talking about those that want to become entrepreneurs and anybody that wants to strive to be the best they can be. It's about perseverance, determination, and having that patience. And sometimes working towards when people say no, you have to basically break through those glass ceilings and say, yes, I can do it. So that's just a bit of a word of encouragement for me today. But just to tell you about the Kickstart program, I think I heard earlier on some people were asking some questions. So the Kickstart program is basically for 60 to 24-year-olds who are on universal credit. And what the government have done, they've allocated £2 billion to create 250,000 jobs to young people across all sectors or industries here in the UK. Now, the whole point of the government putting this together was because of the unemployment gap with young people. This was before the pandemic, and then now we've had the pandemic, things are worse. So there's a massive gap to do with young people and employment, and sometimes it's got to do with a skills gap. So the government have said we're dedicating this amount of money, 250,000 places, to help young people to build up their careers for 6 months. So the placement is for 6 months, and you can choose any job or sector that you want to work in. So far, I believe someone like Tesco's taken on 5,000 people, and there's some other smaller businesses like myself that have been approved for 500 Kickstarters, which I'm really excited. So that means that I'm able, myself and the rest of my team are able to help young people to build up their skills. So what we are offering, just to give you an overview, is that we are offering vacancies for admin assistants, administrators and admin assistants. And this is the one that is really flying very quickly. It's the digital marketing assistants. As you know, a lot of young people, internet, social media comes so naturally to you guys. You know how to use all the social media platforms and stuff, but some of you don't have that skill and qualification, even though you know how to use social media platforms really well. So what we are doing is offering social media assistance or digital marketing assistance. If you've got some experience within digital marketing, social media, then we will train you up so that you would be able to be fully ready to basically go out there and become a digital marketing or digital media marketing specialist when it comes to assisting people with their online. So we offer places, anything from SEO to PPC. We also help people with social media. So you'll be given a client and you'll also be trained by our expert team who will be holding your hand. So the program is to help any young person on universal credit, out of job, that is looking for some form of placement for 6 months. After the 6 months, once you've done your placement, the employer can say to you, I want to take you on and take you through a proper process of interviewing, or they can say, we haven't got any opportunities, but we're happy to give you a reference. So for you as a young person, what are you getting there is that work experience, which I think is really important, because some of you do have the skills, the qualifications, but don't have that work experience. So when you go for job interviews, you don't have experience. So this is what the whole Kickstart is about. I would say that it's a great opportunity to take on, because so many employers are really looking to help young people. But I think the biggest problem that we're having at the moment is getting a message out to young people. It is very similar to an apprenticeship, but it's not an apprenticeship because you are working and earning at the same time. So you will be paid, if you're on universal credit, you'll be paid a minimum wage, and you would need to do a minimum of 25 hours a week, 25 hours a week, a month. A week over the 4 to 5 week month, and then you are paid at the end of the month. You receive a pay slip, and then basically you work with the job centre and your work coach, and they will basically help you with your progress and how you're getting on over the 6 months. Also, as an employer, we need to make sure that we give you the training. So most employers have to give you training such as CV writing, interview skills, and anything within your specialism. So for us, we're helping people with digital marketing. We're helping them with how to do scheduling, how to do SEOs, how to do PPCs, to understand the technical side of digital marketing, how it works, how you make sure that if you are doing any kind of social media marketing for your client, you're able to measure that. So analytics and all of the kind of behind the scenes that we use to basically market our clients' profiles or products or services. So it is a really great program. There are a lot of places, a lot of businesses are taking it on, but we need to get the word out to young people. So it's learning, earning, and also gaining experience at the same time. So that's generally the Kickstart program overall. Has anyone got any questions in regards to the Kickstart program? Any questions? Any questions in regards to what I do into entrepreneurship? Anything like that? Any questions at all? No, everyone's ever so quiet. At least give me one question, guys. One question. Mohan. Seems like everyone's I've answered their questions. Anyone interested in the program? I suppose that's the first question. Anyone who's interested in the program, go to the government website and type Kickstart, and you'll get all the information there that gives you the details. If you are interested and you are on universal credit, you can actually get in touch with your work coach. If you're not in universal credit and you'd like to apply because you want to get onto the Kickstart program, you can also do that as well. It does take, I think, 3 to 4 weeks, but you know, the jobs are there, the opportunities are there. When you go on to Kickstart, when you Google and you put Kickstart programs and you click on news, you'll see there are so many employees that are taking on Kickstarters, and it's a really, really great opportunity for any young person to engage in.
I've got a question.
Sorry.
Oh, 2 questions.
Okay, sorry, Alison, you go.
Go forward, no one. Right, Mohan. Basically, Mavis, I was going to ask is regarding the Kickstart scheme. So what happened is that how does that happen in terms of the payroll aspect, in terms of salary wise or wages wise? In sense, is it how fast does that roll out in terms of getting the intern or the apprenticeship or the young person on board, and how does that work out in terms of payment wise as businesses?
Okay, so as a business, so if you are a business and you want to take on a Kickstarter, how it would work is that you would basically have to get approved. So you would have to get your places approved by the government. So you could either go directly to the government website and put in your own details, or you can get a gateway that will help you to fill out the application. Once you fill out the application, you put in your details of how many Kickstarters you're looking for, add a job description and details about the position, and then you would basically submit your application either directly or through a gateway. Then you have to wait for it to be approved. At the moment, it's taken about 4 to 8 weeks to get approval. They do the approval checks on a number of things. So basically your business profile, how long you've been going, your finances, and just other due diligence that they would do just to check that obviously the employer or Kickstarters that are coming on board are in a safe environment. So they'll do all of that. Once you are approved, then what happens next is then they will put your job on the job centre, and the job centre will start speaking to the young people 16 to 24 to say we have all these positions, just like how the job centre does. And then once there is a pool of CVs, they send that over to you. You will go through the CVs, normal recruitment process, shortlist, do the interviews. Once you're happy with, if you've chosen 1 or 2, depending on how many roles you want, then they will start with you straight away. You induct them. And then once the induction starts, you will also get a grant to support you with training for the Kickstarter and any kind of support. Maybe they need a computer, equipment. So that grant goes towards that, or it could go towards the training depending on the gateway, because a lot of gateways provide training because the government, there's a criteria that one needs to follow as well. So right. Some people, well, I don't have the time, so I'll let the gateway do that. And then once that's done, at the end of the month, if the person starts on the 1st, for example, on the 28th is your next payment run, you'll get them paid. And then once you've paid them on the HMRC PAYE on real time, then you will then be able to claim your money back after 5 weeks. You'll get your first month's pay for that Kickstarter in about 5 weeks. And then that would go on consistently for 6 months.
Okay. Because I was going to ask regarding that, because apparently I've got a gateway, but I just want to know, apparently I was told that it's within 2 weeks. And also I want to ask, is it mandatory to go through the job centers, or it can just go through the gateways as well?
You have to go through the gateway to get approval, or you could do it directly on a website, but you have to get approval because the Kickstarters are coming from the job center because they're on universal credit. So you need the job centre to be able to bring the Kickstarter on board. If the person is not on the job centre, then you're not going to be able to bring them on board, because they all have to have a unique ID, and there is a process that they have to follow and all the paperwork that needs to go through to get them up and running. But I've got some really great news. Is it all Alasine? Sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. Alasine. I have taken on 60 Kickstarters in the last 3 weeks. We've got some amazing young people, degrees, masters, experience, qualifications, and we've just taken on 60, just under 60. Tomorrow we're taking on about 20 to 25 Kickstarters a week.
Okay, amazing. We'll definitely connect after this.
Yeah. Give us if you go on to mavisamanqua.com, you can see more information. Or my email is mavis. Actually, it's business@mavisamanqua.com, and I can tell you more information.
No, yeah, that's fine. Thanks, I appreciate that. We'll definitely connect.
Any other questions?
No, I think I'll leave you with more one.
There was one more. Yes. Maha.
Yes, my question was, if if a young person joins and as a Kickstarter in a company and completes his job like 6 months, is it possible to do another Kickstart or like do another work experience, or just one's the limit?
From my understanding, this is a question that I was actually trying to find out. From my understanding, it's one Kickstarter per job. So once your 6 months is over, you can't now go on to another one. The actual Kickstarter program ends December 2021 as well.
Okay, fine.
Right.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Great. So I think I've finished. Magdalene, anything you'd like to add?
Okay, we have a question in the comments or in the messages. Yeah, so Kofi asked, how does Kickstart program affect the job seekers? Yeah, so that's his question. So how does the Kickstart scheme affect job seekers?
How does it affect job seekers? Well, it's, as I said,
No, he was.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. He was asking, how does a Kickstart scheme program affect the job seekers' universal credit?
Yeah, universal credit payment. Yeah.
How does it affect? Sorry.
How does it affect for the young person coming up to the Kickstart who are on universal credit already? What will happen to their universal credit payment? Will that stop?
No, they still get the universal credit payment plus any bonus that they've worked for, which is all calculated by their national insurance and tax.
Okay.
So it doesn't affect, if anything, they're going to gain more than what they normally get because it's minimum 25 hours a week. So whatever they've worked for, that'll be all deducted from their universal credit and then given to them. So they are more better off than not working at all because they get that support as well. And some people have got housing benefit. It doesn't affect their housing benefit. That's why you need to be referred from the job centre.
That's fantastic. And we are also excited to say that we're also getting some young people from yourselves as well.
Yeah.
This is such a great opportunity for every single person. And so that's why this program we're launching today is not just about, obviously what we're talking about is about the partners that we're working with to ensure that the end users, which are the young people, get as much opportunities as they possibly can. So thank you so much, Mavis. I know you're a very, very busy woman. But
thank you. And I just want to say thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank
it's really
you.
great. Thank you. To support young people. So really looking forward to work together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amin.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for coming on board. So next we will have a talk from our partners. So now we have Jennifer Jackson, who is the co-founder of D&I Talent Solutions. So she will be presenting now. On to Jennifer.
Oh, hello. Hi. Thanks for having me. It's lovely to be here. I might not take up the full 20-minute slot, but if anyone has any questions, genuinely, please feel free to interrupt whenever and just ask me whatever comes into your head, especially if it's anything to do with IT and getting a career in IT. So firstly, I'll let you know who I am. So my name's Jennifer Jackson and I'm one of the 3 founders of D&I Talent Solutions. And I have about over 10 years experience in IT recruitment. So that's placing people from beginner level in IT to very experienced, IT architects and CTOs and top level people. But at the same time, because I've been doing it for so long, a lot of the people that I worked with at the start of my career 10 years ago, I've seen their journey and I've seen what they've done and how they've progressed. And it's genuinely amazing. I think it's just a great sector to be in. So D&I Talent Solutions was born alongside one of my co-founders, Holly, and Bode Bamkole. And it's purely because, you know, we've all worked in IT, we've all worked in recruitment, and we see the lack of diversity, and that's not just ethnicity or sex, it's also, you know, age and people's backgrounds. And we are incredibly passionate about driving change within organisations and making sure that opportunities are available to everyone, to absolutely everyone. And that's what we're doing. So we've partnered with quite a few organisations, obviously, Music Relief Foundation's one, and then we've also partnered with Black Women Who Code. We've partnered with Ambitious About Autism, and some of our partner companies are also coding schools and coding colleges, so there'll be ones that we can definitely refer you into if you're interested in perhaps looking at a career in IT. So yeah, this is us, this is D&I Talent Solutions. So if we can move on to the next slide, that would be great. So again, as I said, rewriting our industry story. You know, we're still pushing for change, and we're still doing online webinars with organisations about how they can make their organisations more inclusive to everyone. So we'll be putting stuff like that up on LinkedIn. I don't know if any of you are on LinkedIn, please reach out, say hi, add me. And if you want to get involved, or if you want to see any of the events that we're doing alongside some of our other partners, please do have a look and see if there's anything that's of interest to you. And again, I mean, even when I first started out in IT recruitment, I was the only Oriental person in the office, the only one, and the only female as well that was actually a good biller. And it was one of those things for me that stuck with me at the very beginning, that the only thing you can do is educate yourself. I think CC said it earlier, education is the most important thing. Education in every single aspect, not just your own job, but other people's jobs, and why they want to do that, and what, you know, what's so important about it as well. Because I think when you understand the why behind the reason why someone's doing something, you really understand what's important to them, and it really opens your mind up to why organisations are sometimes operating in the way that they are. And then also, if there's anything that you're interested in and that you want to get involved in, put yourself out there and go and do it. So that's very much what we're about. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about getting into tech and what technology is, because prior to going into IT, I didn't have a clue about anything to do with tech. And it took me about 6 months to really understand the different areas of an organisation's IT department, because it's massive. It's absolutely massive, and there's an area for every single person, depending on how your mind works and depending on how, you know, depending on what your interests are, really, there is an area for everyone, I believe, anyway. So what is tech? Ask yourself that question. Actually ask yourself, if you had to think about technology and getting into tech, what would you actually say it is? You don't have to answer the question, but definitely ask yourself. And I mean, technology is massive. It encompasses absolutely everything you do. What we're working on right now, this laptop is connected to other servers everywhere. It's connected to the cloud that isn't literally a cloud in the sky, but it is connected to the cloud that hosts all of our data. If you think our mobile phones and everything that's on here, all of our pictures from when we were 2, 3 years old, 4, where is all of that stored, and how is it all kept secure? Genuinely, it blows my mind, and that's why I find it so interesting. And I think the way technology has evolved over years and years and years, it's one of those careers that if you did get into, and if you were genuinely really interested, you will never be out of a job. It pays very, very well. And you know, we have a huge talent shortage at the moment. all the time, you know, whenever I'm on podcasts, webinars, or speaking to IT managers, heads of ITs, business owners, every single thing they tell me about, when I ask them what's keeping them up at night, it is always, there is a talent shortage. There's a huge talent shortage in tech. So if you can pick up any skills, and if this really is an area that you're interested in, you will have a lifelong career. No, you know, hands down, there's no question. It will be very, very good. So tech, you could be anything from infrastructure and IT support. It could be networks. It could be cybersecurity. It could be data science, and actually looking at how companies take data from, you know, their users or from all of their customers, and actually looking at, you know, what their customers are interested in, how they use that data, and then how they can potentially grow their business and make more money off it. It's not just that, it's also software development as well. So that's software development of the websites that you see, any of the software that you're using, Zoom right now, or Microsoft Teams, whatever we're using, that has all been developed. So it has to have come from somewhere, and it will have come from scratch as well. So it's just incredibly interesting for me anyway. So again, why tech? At the moment, huge talent shortage. There is a huge push right now for diversity and inclusion as well. And that is another reason, obviously, why D&I Talent Solutions, our company, was born. It's to push the diversity and inclusivity. It's not just us, though. Every single organisation right now is under the spotlight, and they are getting reviewed about their diversity and inclusion strategy. Everyone is trying to impact it, whether they're doing it quickly or slowly, they are under the radar. So now, if any a time, it's a great time to try and get into the industry, especially if you felt previously the doors were slightly shut. They're absolutely open now. And if you need any help or any assistance, please do reach out. You know, after this, you know, I can set up more conversations about how to get into, how to prep your CV, you know, which courses are the best for you, for what you're interested in specifically. And, you know, we can really help you get into it if it's something that you're interested in. Another thing with tech, and one thing that is exciting for me, is it is constantly evolving, constantly evolving. It's never, ever changing. So we'll go from, you know, ages ago, we never really used to use our mobile phones. We never really used to take them out with us all the time. Now, everyone has a mobile phone. Everyone has a camera on their phone. And all of the different apps that you've got on there, you know, they have come from somewhere, and they're constantly evolving to keep ahead of competition. Just think, it's one of those where, you know, you're never, ever, ever going to get bored, and you won't ever be out of work. And if you can learn how to build an app, you know, even if, you know, if your interest is music, build an app that is about music, you know, do something, put yourself out there. Another lady mentioned about marketing. That is a huge thing that is very important, especially right now with the internet being so accessible to everyone. Businesses get far and people get far through networking and marketing. So that's another thing that I definitely look at, you know, focusing on if you do want a career in IT as well. So if I start off with infrastructure support, that's an area that I've recruited for about 7 years now, and I know the most. Infrastructure is, if you think of a business, you know, any business or anywhere that you've worked previously, say Microsoft, for instance, they will have hundreds of thousands of users, internal actual people within their organisation, and their laptop that allows them to do the day-to-day work has to get supported and updated, and, you know, it has to have the security, it has to connect to Wi-Fi. It's got all of these different things that you have to learn, really, and that is more the infrastructure side of IT. So it's what keeps the business ticking and what keeps the operations of that business working, because without infrastructure, If your systems go down, you can't make any phone calls, you can't do any work, your business is screwed. So infrastructure is so, so important. And again, there's a huge shortage of infrastructure engineers out there. So, you know, if you picked up some of the skills, if you did some of the courses, and if you applied for some of those entry-level jobs, you will 100% find yourself in a position doing infrastructure and IT support. The reason why I'm so passionate about it is because, as I mentioned earlier, you know, I've been doing it for a long time, but sorry, I have placed people who, you know, one of the guys that I placed, I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning, George. He's a lovely person, and he started off with absolutely no experience in IT. Didn't know anything about laptops, didn't know how to take them apart, how to fix them. And he was a kitchen fitter when I first spoke to him. I called him and I was like, George, you know, we've got this IT support job, entry-level job, and would you like to give it a go and see what you think about it? He took the opportunity and he did as much research as he could in the background. You know, in his first week, he did his day-to-day job with his manager and learned as much as he could. But then he also went home and also tried to learn, you know, went on YouTube, watched a few videos. And I've seen him progress in his career through and through. Now, he's an infrastructure project manager. He's decided not to go down, you know, permanent employment. He's opened his own business and is a contractor now. And he's on £350 a day. That's in the north, in Manchester. If he was down in London, he would be on more than that. And that's 6 years on from him starting, after being a kitchen fitter for about 3 years. So that's where I just think, you know, when you've seen so many people go through that career progression and trajectory, and you've seen how well they've done, it really makes you passionate, because you know if there's anyone else that starts off, you know, very early on in an entry-level position, and entry-level positions are the best ones because they're the ones where you build your foundation for your future career, and you're given the opportunity to fail at entry level as well. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes happen to everyone. Go and do it and make them early on and learn fast. And you know, you could be another George out there, 6 years on, bought his own house, loving life. And I just think anyone can do it if they put the mind to it, and if they persevere, and if they just keep trying. And he hasn't done that without asking questions. If there was something that he didn't quite understand, he'd just ask the question. It would always get answered, be completely fine. Another area of IT is software development. It's another area that is largely, you know, we're really struggling to hire people for, and in, you know, five or 6 years time, there are so many studies out there that have said there are so many companies in the UK that will absolutely struggle to hire software development skills, because there aren't enough teenagers coming through the ranks and actually thinking, I want a career in tech. And largely it's because they've never really thought about it. You know, I didn't leave, you know, university or school or college thinking tech, that's what I want to do. I definitely didn't. I just don't know why. I don't think it's spoken about enough in college or in school. And I also think whenever it's been brought up in college or in school, it's always been Excel spreadsheets. It's always been the really boring, mundane part of IT. But there are other areas like software development, app development, mobile development, web development that are so interesting. So for instance, you know, my mind was blown when I found out about websites and how websites are built. People will look at the data behind how you've clicked through a website. So when you go on ASOS and you like looking at different, you know, pink jumpers or whatever, you click through a load of pink jumpers, there are cookies in that website that actually track where, you know, where you're clicking. And that is how ASOS will then develop their website to make it more, you know, to make the customer experience better. So it's very psychological, really. They'll look at the trends on what you've clicked through and what you enjoy, and then they'll show you more of what you like. All of that I think is incredibly interesting. So if you've got a psychological mind, if you like creativity, if you like designing things and drawing things, perhaps a career in UX or UI or website design is more for you. If you like fiddling around with stuff, wires and poking through things, it's probably networking that is best for you. If you like fixing and finding tiny little problems, probably software development and cybersecurity is a very good area for you to look at. When I say for software development as well, it's quite heavy on the maths. So if you're quite mathematically minded and you do like solving a good challenge, or you're the type to download those puzzles on your app, on your mobile, do those brain teasers in your spare time, definitely look at software development. So that will be where you'll learn how to actually build a website, back end and front end. And that's where you'll learn technologies like Java, JavaScript, .NET, Python and Angular. Really, really up and coming technologies that, again, you know, we're really struggling to find new candidates for because of the shortage that's out there. And not just that, but if you like making money, or if you like the thought of actually being on a very good salary, if you learn any of these languages, Java, JavaScript, Python, within 3 to 5 years, you could quite easily be on a salary of at least 60k. It pays very, very well. And it's not just that. The people that I speak to when I recruit, you know, on a daily basis, they are never out of work. Never out of work. So it's one of those where, even though we've had this huge pandemic, the IT and the tech industry has actually stayed very, very solid. You know, we've had very few people leave or have redundancies. So one thing I'm going to leave you with are a couple of online courses as well. So there's Google Digital Garage. They have 40 free beginner courses online that you can easily sign up to and work your way through to. You will receive a certification from each of those courses that you complete. And I'll guarantee if you're one of those people that have gone out there to learn on your own, self-taught, and you go to apply for an IT job, you know, they will look at you in a very, very good and positive light because you've done something off your own back and you've been very proactive. There's also Open Learn, which is an online course developed by the Open University, which is completely free as well. That's got tech courses on there and coding courses, so definitely have a look at that. And there's Code Academy, which has 5,000 free code camp tutorials on there, and they're all slightly different. So if you're the type of person that has to watch a tutorial and then go away and do a test, you know, they have those options on there. If you want to get involved in a webinar that everyone else is on as well, they also have those options on there as well. So whatever works best for you, have a good look and sign up. And there's also Amazon. Amazon have I think it's over 500 courses online for free to learn about cloud computing, which is essentially where all of our data is stored. Everyone's data and all of the company's data, most of it is stored in the cloud. So Amazon can teach you all about that, and you can have a very lucrative career in AWS cloud if that's something that you feel could be of interest to you. It's not just that, but YouTube is amazing for learning new things and seeing how other people do things. So I definitely encourage you to have a look at those. I think I've got another slide on there. If you can move on to the next one. Completely forgot about the slides. Busy talking. So yeah, we are so I'm passionate. I don't know if you can tell, but we are very passionate about helping you, especially if IT is something that you think, actually, I'd like to get into there, or I know someone that's in IT, but I don't know how they've done it. I'd like to speak to someone to learn a little bit more about it. Please reach out to us. You know, whether it's via MRF or if you want to reach out directly, please do, and we're more than happy to have a conversation to help you tailor your CV or prepare for interviews. You know, we won't bite. We're here to help. And the next slide, please. Can you move on to the next slide, please?
I think Maitreyi froze.
I think it was just the last one anyway about the other things that we could do. Yes, so CV writing. If you want to tailor your CV for a more technical role, we're more than happy to look at your current CV, advise on how to tailor it, or even help you tailor it right there and then on the phone. We can do video calls. Very happy to do that. Interview preparation and techniques. So we'll go through the typical interview format, the types of questions that you could be asked, the types of competency-based questions as well. And we're also more than happy to do mock interviews. So if you think, right, I've done all of the interview prep, I think I know it all, can Jen now give me a mock interview and pretend that she's the hiring manager? Then I'm more than happy to do that and actually be an interviewer for you. And you can then practice. Then we can go through what you could have improved on, if anything. And then, you know, it's really good practice for you, and it'll hopefully make you feel a little bit more confident when you're out there in the real world actually properly going for an IT interview. Some of the application forms, especially for some of these graduate level positions or even beginner level positions, can be quite mundane and huge, and you also might not know exactly which parts of your experience that you've had in the past is completely relevant for it. So we're more than happy to help you with those application forms as well. Career in tech, as I've said, I'd love it if all of you came back and said that you'd love a career in tech, because then I'd talk you through all of the different options that you can go through to get yourself there. And also we're speaking to Code Nation, the engagement officer there, who is looking to build cohorts for new sort of what are they called? So for new people that are looking to get into coding. So they will teach you the top IT tech coding languages right now. So they're all JavaScript, Python and Node.js. All those languages are used by most companies right now. And they're also very, very high in demand. So Code Nation do a 3-month course, so 12 weeks in total. It's a full-time one. You have to hit a specific criteria. So you have to be on benefits. And there are a couple of other things on there I can't remember off the top of my head. But if that is something that you're interested in, please do reach out to me and I can go through the different criteria, and then we can fill out an application form for that as well. And that is also amazing if you can get into there. It's up and down the UK, so they've got schools in London, Manchester and Birmingham, and they will also help you find a job afterwards, and we will also help you find a job afterwards as well, once you've completed the course and once you're qualified. And I think that's it. I don't think there's another slide after that. Will you check, please? Yeah, that's it. So I don't know, I know I've spoken a lot, but if anyone's got any questions, then please feel free to ask.
Thank you. Actually, I have a question. So in one of your slides, you mentioned humans, not robots.
Yeah.
So are you like against AI taking over human positions?
Yeah, right now I am, until, you know, a lot of people actually ask me that, and robotics and artificial intelligence is such a big thing at the moment, and everyone's, you know, loving the buzzword. One thing that I have an issue with AI technology is AI technology is written and it's based on data and it's previous data, but unless that data is actually diverse, the data won't reflect, you know, a proper community. It won't reflect the world right now. You know, there are lots of things that you can read up on online to do with AI and really how good is it, but AI really, for me right now, until they've got a more diverse set of data to write the, you know, AI technology off the back of, AI technology is wrong right now for me. It's aimed too much at white males. Even, you know, females, there's not enough of a presence in the data really for AI to work properly just yet, but hopefully they'll make improvements in that area.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
Yes. So, do we have any more questions?
Apologies, just want
Yeah,
to ask,
Jennifer.
what was your profile
Obviously.
on
Oh, 1 second, Alison. There's someone who's already speaking. Yeah.
Hello.
That's Pete. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, that's Pete. Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick question. What was your profile on LinkedIn, please?
It's Jennifer Jackson.
Lovely. Thank you, Jennifer. Great
Yeah.
presentation.
No worries, thanks.
Over to you, Alison.
Yeah, Jennifer, thank you very much for that. Now, I just wanted to ask, because you talk about diversity in terms of AI and obviously inclusion pretty much. Obviously you haven't got much women as well in terms of the coding side. Will you elaborate on that a little bit so I'll be able to wrap my head around it? Obviously I know the word itself, diversity and inclusion, what it entails, for like in terms of the AI section, which I'm pretty much a novice.
Yeah.
So I would like to get a little bit more explanation when it comes to that. You know what I mean? I hope I'm not taking people's time.
It really, AI goes into everything, and I first came across it when I was looking to host a webinar over, medicine and medicine that's developed by all of these health tech organizations and how it's used, and when they're doing their tests, to develop medicines, a lot of those tests aren't done on a broad data set. They've not got someone from Africa, they've not got someone from Australia or Asia, or they've just got their set people, and that's what the data is based off. And that's where I just think it's wrong. Until there is a diverse data set that artificial intelligence is built off, it's just not going to work properly for everyone. So an example could be, there are some companies, like recruitment companies, that are saying, oh, AI technology is the best way to recruit, and you don't have to use a recruitment consultant then. But what you'll find, that AI technology, you literally fill out a form, put all of your details in there, and if that computer doesn't like what you've said, it will discount you from that job. But you could have been the best person for that job, which is why I say humans, not robots, because humans see the wider picture. We see everything, and we can say why someone is good for an opportunity over a computer saying, actually, I don't like what you've put in that box. It's not what I've been told should be in there. So now you're not going to go ahead for that role. And that's just one example of where AI just hasn't worked very well. But it's incredibly interesting. And there's actually a post that I put out on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago. And it's all about data and how it isn't diverse. And there'll be so much out there that you'll think, my goodness, I didn't realize all of this until I read this book, and it's called Invisible Women. If you're interested in reading more about that, please download that book or go and buy it, Invisible Women, or you can borrow mine, I can send it out to you. And that will even tell you about the data around, developing certain things hasn't been developed with a female in mind. And I always think, until I read the book, I thought, actually, yeah, I can't reach all the four corners of my iPhone. This iPhone has been built for a man, essentially, because I actually can't reach all four corners. So when they built this, they weren't thinking about female users. And that's just another example, but I can get very passionate about that and we can go on for ages, but.
Thank you very much for touch basing on that. I really appreciate it.
That's okay.
Oliver has a question. Oliver has his hand raised.
Yeah, it's a quick question. It's not, something. I just want to know, is this opportunity international or just national?
Which one? The ones with Code Nation?
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, the opportunity itself that people are seeking to, do the IT and all that.
Well, no, I think it's anyone and everyone. So, if you live outside of the UK and you're interested, then, please do get in touch. I don't just place people in the UK. We work with companies globally, and we can definitely advise you on what's best to do in that market or in that economy that you're looking to get into IT. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. It does.
And all of these online courses as well, they're open to anyone. Go onto Google, type in Codecademy, and they'll come up. And there's 5,000 free Codecamp tutorials. And these online courses that I've mentioned, I haven't just picked them. They've come from developers that we've worked with, and we've said, if there is anything that you would recommend a beginner person, going on to and learning from, where would you recommend they start? Codecademy was the first place a majority of developers said to have a look at first.
Thank you very much.
And also, just to quickly add as well, Jennifer, I think in regards to our partnership, it's going to benefit many young people, both male and female, especially female, who may not see it as technology and things of STEM. It doesn't appeal to female. It's kind of historically kind of like a male-oriented world industry. Yeah. But just listening to you and hearing you speak so passionately, once the program kickstarts and we're signposting people based on obviously their career requirements, it will be great to see how we could have that push to get as many females to come along and really jump on this, because that's something that would be good to see young ladies who are standing up in the world of IT, because you rightly said that in as much as there's been this global pandemic, those within the IT field haven't actually suffered, because there is jobs that, I mean, we're on Teams because of technology or Zooms. And so you can see that this is something that will definitely thrive for many years to come. So that's something that for everyone who has come on board and listening, that's definitely a push that we are encouraging. So like Mohan said earlier on, the various courses are not mandatory, but help and ensuring that we get as many people signposted to IT and that coding, it's something that we will definitely be looking to do. But yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much. When you were speaking, there was this one point where I could definitely relate, or I guess even Mohan can relate, because we were applying for jobs and for internships, and at one point of time we came to know that you have a software which screens your resume, and we were looking for, okay, so which words are you supposed to put in? Do we put this
it's wrong
keyword in, or do we put that keyword in? So, it was very frustrating, but yeah, I mean, thank you so much for coming on board.
No worries, thank you. I hope I've answered all of your questions. If anyone wants to get in touch, please feel free to do so. Would love to help out.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we can move on to Alusine. So Alusine is the head of global partnerships at Internship Garage. Let me pull up your presentation. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Thanks, everyone. Obviously, I really appreciate this moment. It's a great moment. My name is Alusine Kamara, and I'm a placement coordinator. And I'm running an internship business that has to do with helping national as well as international students finding internship across the country. And at the same time as well, I work with other people that are looking for apprenticeship. And me being part of this program, I think is a great opportunity. And obviously MRF, as you know, and me being partner with them, and then they coordinate in this. It's a great platform for businesses such as me and other businesses as well to showcase what they do basically. And yeah, what we do here as a team, we work in terms of helping young people finding placement and then also finding job opportunities. But at the same time, they could start from apprenticeship and move forward in terms of having the right career place that they want to be in their future. So this is what we do, and how we do it, we collaborate with businesses such as any kind of business basically. It could be for MRF, it could be marketing, it could be sales, it could be finance, it could be even yeah, it could be in the business sector, in any area, as long as you got something to do with business. So pretty much our aim is to help students gain valuable work experience, and also we work with employers in order for them to tap into wealth into apprentice, students, or any other person that are literally out there that they don't even realize that they got talent. So that's our aim. It's all about helping people for them to come on board and be like showcase their skills and have a career there in the end. Can I get the next slide, please? Yeah, so basically we partner with everyone. As I said, we partner with different companies, and obviously the people that we work with pretty much students, youth, and obviously with students and youth, and there is unlimited career choices there, so they could choose whatever they want to do, whatever area they want to go to. It could be any faculty, any background. So obviously their strength, what we do as an internship company, we help businesses, students in this case, in terms of them having a good CV. We prepare them to have a proper CV, a good CV, how they will be able to get themselves to showcase, to present themselves in terms of jobs, opportunities, in terms of internship, because obviously any internship, it could lead to unemployment. So how we do it, we prepare them for them to get a solid CV, because most times some people, they haven't got the idea in terms of preparing a CV. At the moment, as just Jennifer mentioned about AI and the CV spectrum right now within the workplace, it's all about having a Canvas CV, which is very, very short. It gives you sometimes pretty much now they start having a video CV, but with a Canvas CV, it's very short, and it shows your picture on it, your photo, and then it gives pretty much a rundown of what you do, your experience, and your background and all that. So that's how we do. We try to strengthen a CV for youth and as well as for students. And obviously, based on that, with your CV, it will be able to give you it will be able to make you stand out there in terms of you getting a job opportunity, a placement or apprenticeship, where you start from, and then eventually leads you to a job opportunity where you'll be able to gain experience. And as I said, it might lead to a career choice where you'll be able to navigate to. And with employers, what we do basically, we contact employers for them to be like reach out to, because as we talk about diversity and inclusion as well, that's one of the aspects, and pretty much with MRF, what they do, especially they are based in Croydon area, and that's pretty much, I would say, they're dealing with more of disadvantaged kids, and they are pretty much these youths, they're pretty much isolated in sense within our society. So that's one of the things as well, which I think MRF is like a muse to me, for them to reach out there in terms of uplifting these people by creating this change project, this change management project, in terms of helping the youth that are seeking help, that are seeking opportunity out there, to be like, hey, we're here, we need your voice, we're also humans. So, and them creating that opportunity as well, and for them to get talent. And obviously, because if you look out there on the other side of the world, they don't tend to realize that these people exist in sense. But by MRF giving them this opportunity, and businesses tapping also into that, you will be able to get plethora opportunity in terms of student, in terms of the apprentice, in terms of their background, and then you're able to know more. And then as a business or as a manager, as a leader, you'll be able to understand that there are people from certain background, and these are pretty much just like Joe Person. Was it Joe Person? The chap that the guest that we had.
That person.
Yeah, exactly. So he obviously, he used to live in an estate, and then from that, you see how he grew up. So basically, if he hadn't gotten to that stage, no one would have seen him. Do you know what I mean? So he had this opportunity by him training, from having the opportunity, obtain a black belt, from black belt, and then pushing his way till he get to where he gets. So, and MRF creating that opportunity as well for other people, and that's absolutely amazing. So it's absolutely a pleasure and a great opportunity for me for internship grads to collaborate with them, by them adding value. So how they do, we add value to businesses by us giving them, obviously, when we get access to this youth or this student, when they come on board, because of their skills, they said what each teach one. So which means if you give, I think it was Magdalene, you said, you made a quote one day, you said it takes a whole village to raise a child. So in that case, when you give these people the opportunity, what they do, they add value to your business. So that's pretty much what the main course is. And obviously, as I said, we deal with the benefits of that when you get students on board, or youth as a student. Pretty much it makes you stand out, because your CV is pretty much out there. They will know that you've got experience, because pretty much most of the times now, businesses, what they do, they ask, oh, you're looking for a job, have you got experience? What have you got experience on? Well, by you working with any one of this organization, that will help you in terms of you saying, oh, I've worked for this company, so that this is the platform that I started from. So that gives you, it makes your CV stands out, and also it gives you pretty much opportunity for you to be out there in the job market, so that you've got experience. It improves your English language and also multicultural experience as well. And further, can you lift that up a little bit for me in the student youth side?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it gives you the corporate experience, and for you to know that you've been part of the business world and the corporate world, and how to conduct yourself within that. And then also and obviously, if you get that experience, you'll be able to generate it or translate in something else. And I'm afraid I won't be able to see all the way down. I don't know, I got this. Let me see if I can move this around here. Now, are you seeing my screen?
Wait, is there an issue with it?
I don't know, for some reason my screen is very small, so I'm not having a whole thing. I'm just actually improvising by presenting.
Oh, so basically, if you have the Word file you sent to Mohan, that's basically what I just copied.
Yeah, I can. Let me just go through it. I'll just grab my phone and do it. I think. Let me see. 1 second.
I can open it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be here.
So I'm actually improvising by going through all that. 1 sec.
Yeah. Okay. I have it open.
Cool.
So yeah. Let me just share screen. Yeah. So do you want me to go to the next page?
Yes. Well, no. Well, because I want to get to the benefits first of businesses. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In terms of the benefits, obviously for businesses, having these people on board, they're cost effective, and as Mavis mentioned, especially in terms of the Kickstart, and obviously when you're getting these people on board, they are pretty much obviously you can offer them the minimum wage, and also for intern, obviously you could determine for whatever you want to give them, but obviously interns are meant to be paid. And obviously for apprenticeship as well, it's the same thing. Obviously you're meant to give them the minimum wage for them to get that. So that's a benefit to you, rather than you getting a normal person that comes on board at the end of the day, they call sick and all that. But when you have these people, they're they're well dedicated, and they're hungry as well. They're very, very driven. So they want to go out there for them to gain experience, try to catch up with whatever that is going on that is missing. They need to learn, and they will add value to your business. That's one of the benefits as well as an employee, if you're able to get these people on board. And secondly, obviously they add value to your business by them doing whatever they need to do just for them to help you reach your goal as a business. And they help you gain brand advocacy as well, because obviously whatever platform they work for, whatever company they'll be like, oh yeah, if let's say, because word by mouth is very important. If they go out there and then they say, hey, Mohan, what company are you working for? Oh, I'm working for MRF. So do you see what I mean? So this is how the message goes. Which company is MRF? Oh, they're based in Thurton Heath. This is what they do. This is what they do. So this is how your company go out there. People know about it. So the more people you get on board, the more it goes by word by mouth. So that's another thing as well that gives brand advocacy. And then obviously it gives you the opportunity as well for you to nurture future talents. You're able to mold them to the way you want them, because they're fresh from the package, so to speak, fresh from the box. So when they come out there, and then you'll able to be like mold them to the way you want them. So they'll be able to navigate well into your business as you're able to, mold them to the way you want them to become a leader into your business as well. So which kind of helps as well. And obviously they will be able to finish whatever task you've been struggling with and able to be like help you go forward in terms of your business. Yeah, next slide, please.
Yeah.
It's nice. Now it's better because I was able to see, so I couldn't improvise that much. Yeah, the programs pretty much. Yeah, we deal with different type of programs. Obviously, three types. So we got career development, we got general placement, career, and then obviously we got a voluntary one. So basically, a general career development is all about, let's say, if you got a degree or you got pretty much experience, and then you want to jump into the financial market, or you want to jump into any other career platform for you to be like being a career on that, for you to be up the ladder, then we got that as well in terms of employers, and also as well for students. And general placement or apprenticeship, so you could say, you know what, I want to start from I want to be I want to do retail, or I want to do painting, or whatever kind of sort in that area that you want to, for you just to be like gain experience. And then obviously there's an opportunity as well for businesses, and as well as for youths or students. And also voluntary, obviously we work with different organizations as well, where people can come aboard if they want to do anything regarding voluntary as well. We're able to help them, as well as for youth and for businesses. So what we do for employers, we try to match your job description with the right person that kind of relate to your skills that you're looking for. So in that aspect, we shortlist the CVs, and then from there we try to get the person that is congenial to your business. So that's one of the things that we do. And obviously by we doing that, and obviously we know that, okay, this person is the right person. A is the right person that matches to your business, that is A as well. So the culture is pretty much the same, the perspective, the mentality, the way, obviously the desire of that person, and obviously the desire as a manager, as a company, what you're looking for. So we're trying to be like match that up. And obviously what we do by us doing that, we try to engage with the candidates, with the apprentice or the student. We try to be like we create pretty much, yeah, we prepare them by asking them what sort of company that they want to work for, how would they see themselves in this type of company, where would they want to go from here. So this is how we're able to match them up. And obviously we look as well in terms of diversity and inclusion, where this person matches, and if maybe they want to go to this company, because obviously you got different people, they got different mindset. So this is all I would try to be like make the shortlisting by matching them up. And then okay, and then the next one is for students. Students again is the same thing. So we try to get off the motivational letter, and then based on their motivational letter, as I mentioned, so we will be able to determine, okay, this person is okay, wants to go into the financial market or into banking sector. So by we looking into that, but we need to call them as well for interview, ask them about their skills based on what we've seen from the CV, try to see if it really adds up, because sometimes some people, they will say we can do this, but at the end of the day, if you put them into practice, they're not there. They're not on that level. So you need to know if everything matches. So we conduct interview with them first before we prepare them for the clients, because obviously we don't want them to go to the clients and then they start being like stuttering, or like maybe it doesn't go well. So we wouldn't want to have that backlash. So that's why, because if we're going to represent you to say, we got this candidate for you and we want to get you to this company, we need to prepare you first to know that you actually match after shortlisting you. So that's something that we do. And obviously we give guaranteed placements for both sides, for businesses and as well as apprentice or youths and students as well. Because how we do it, and regarding employer side, I need to mention that whenever we are doing a placement, we need to share the responsibility. So by us doing that, after we shortlist, and then we'll send you the CVs, we'll say these are the people that are literally tallied to your job description. So do you want to interview them yourselves? So by you interviewing them, then which means we've shared the responsibility. So out of your choice, and then we're going to go with your choice. So should there be any other thing else to say, okay, you know what, internship garage literally pass on this person to us, and based on that, and you know, in terms of having any eventualities, so what we do, so that responsibility will be shared responsibility. So should there be any eventualities, we will be able to come out of that. So that's another thing as well. So and also the second to last bit, yeah, obviously we need to give the satisfaction of the clients at the end of the day, because that's the most important thing, obviously for students and also for businesses. So we try to get the gratification from both sides. So students, they will be happy wherever we place them, and as well as organizations, for them to be like, oh yeah, this is a right person, and we would like to work with Internship Garage as well, because why? Listing very well, and then they know exactly what we want, so we give them their desire, so to speak. And yeah, pretty much the other side, at the end of the day, students get certificates from whatever they've done with the company, and for them to see that, yeah, we've done this program, we're qualified, so this is what it is. And obviously partnering with MRF, obviously regarding this skills and employment program, a change, is absolutely a great opportunity, and it's offering this opportunity for not only for students, but also for youth, and us combining together, working together in terms of employment basis, and obviously gain all the well-being tools and opportunities in terms of CV and work. It's absolutely interesting and very important. So I think going forward with this opportunity, I would like to say thanks for giving me this opportunity as a business, and also for us to come together. It's like a whole amalgamation of great people. He said great mind thinks alike. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys.